everyone, it's Lisa Joy Young, and today I have a collaboration video I'm doing that I'm so excited about. The collaboration is Sweet Corruption, which is like things that are normally good that became bad or evil. So I am a fairy that was unfortunate enough to be bitten by a zombie, and I'm a zombie fairy. The artists in this collaboration are amazing, and I am so honored to be a part of it. There's world traveling face and body artists and YouTube artists who I've looked up to for years. The first step of this design is going to be to dampen a kabuki brush and your paint and use it to cover your body, your upper torso, and your face in green. I'm using Tag lime green and an olive green, and that helps to tone the lime green down. As you can see, the kabuki brush does a great job of covering large areas very quickly, and you can use a sponge to further blend out that color by just lightly patting it. Make sure to also cover your chest area, your arms, and at the very end, your hands. Now I'm using a dark olive green eyeshadow to contour my face. Usually I would use a paint because it gives great texture, but powder's a lot more forgiving, it's easier to work with, and it's faster. So I just went with powder this time. You want to contour your forehead and then your temples, and of course your cheekbones. When you're putting down the shadow, just place the shadow first and then blend it out to make it look more seamless. Also, make sure to put the shadow on your eyes, and I usually put the color when I'm doing things like monsters and zombies. You put the most shadow where you least want it. So in the inner corners of your eyes, underneath your eyes, in the creases of your eyes. Use black to further deepen the color. Next, take a very small brush and the black powder and use it to lightly draw fine lines, and you're going to want to draw them in a circular shape going in towards the center area of the hollow of the eye. Now it's time to contour the neck and chest area, and this was hard for me because I am anything but gaunt. So I had to push my bones out because I normally don't see them. And when I did that, it gave me a frame of reference as to where to put the shadows. And that just shows when you're normally very, very thin or gaunt, there's shadows that would naturally be there. So I had to use my imagination quite a bit during this part. But after you draw the main lines, just shade them out with the bigger brush. Now I'm wiping away any spots with a wet wipe that I want my gaping wounds to show. To do the fairy wings, I use Diamond Effects white and a number 3 round brush. And the technique to these is to push your brush in and out to get different widths in your line. Make sure your lines always end with a nice point, and that all your lines are going in towards the center corner of your eye. I decided to do a fun little skull detail. So in order to do that, just simply outline your skull, and then you're going to add the eyes and the nose and lines for teeth. Continue working on your wings. Put different designs here and there. Just make sure that none of them are perfect and that they all look kind of messed up and haphazard. can put different swirls in there. Just make sure they're not perfect swirls. Also, to make it look really worn and old, I put these streaks going down. You press your brush and then pull up on it and wiggle and end in a really fine point. Also, make sure all of your falling drips are going straight down and not at any angles, and they'll look really good if you do that. Now it's time for the teeth. In order to do this, I just laid my brush down and it naturally gives a really nice shape for teeth. Make sure your teeth go from biggest to smallest as you're going down your lips. If you ever get confused, just open your mouth and look at what your teeth look like. Next, you're going to want to outline your area where the wounds will be and then color them in with red. Zombie teeth are not bright white, so make sure to darken them with a brown like I did here, or yellows or grays. Also, when you outline the teeth, try to keep the line very, very thin. The thicker it gets, the more cartoony and fake they look. Next, you're going to want to shade in the middle portions of the wounds with black powder, and that will help to give them depth. Finally, just fill in your other side of your mouth with a pretty red lipstick, and there you go. Now it's time to draw the ribs. So just make sure to match up with your shaded sides so that everything makes sense, and quickly sketch out the ribs in white. That way, if you make any mistakes, it's easy to wipe up and fix. I used a filbert brush to quickly fill in the white areas. After you're done filling in the white, make sure to fill in the rest with red, and you'll be ready for shading. In order to shade, fill in the middle section once again with black powder, and then you're going to take a small brush and go along the edges of everything to help give it definition. So just go along the edges, make sure the corners are more shaded than the rest, and then to give the bones texture, just pull your brush out and give little lines in the bones, and that'll make them look more realistic. And powder is a great tool for this. It's just a lot easier than having to blend out paint. For where the ribs meet the sternum, simply draw a slightly curved line and then blend with your powder outward towards the ribs, and it'll help to make them look like they're kind of pushing into the sternum. Also, to add a really good dimension and definition to your wings, just take the black powder and that small brush and give a shadow to the underside of the design on the wings. It's a lot easier than outlining it, it's faster, and it adds nice dimension without taking away from it with a bold outline. Next, take some red on a sponge and just dab it here and there. Make sure you don't blend it out too much. You want it to look splotchy. You also want to add bloody parts to your chest area as well. I decided I wanted to make some homemade blood, so I used corn syrup, red food coloring and blue food coloring. I added a ton of red and then just a couple drops of blue. The blue really darkens it quickly and you have to be careful with it, so add it slowly. Take your blood and use your finger to just pounce it in the middle of the wounds and then blend it outwards. You want the middle, very middle of your blood patches to be the darkest. And that finishes up the look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it.